Love isn't always a two-way street. And when jealousy rears its ugly head, it can unleash the devil inside.
Diana!
What turns a shrinking violet into a savage beast?
What are you doing?
She was going to commit a human sacrifice.
You gotta stop being so clingy, babe.
Why can't a young woman let her lover go?
It's scary to think just a small girl can snap like that and turn on a dime.
Hello? Oh, hey, it's Patricia. Can I speak to Andy?
And how does a blast from the past destroy a family?
She must have known something horrible was about to happen, but there was nothing she could do.
Driven by desire and jealousy, these deadly women become green-eyed monsters. "35-year-old Diana Hahn hopes her new job at the local supermarket will be the start of something. She's single and shy. Life has been passing her by.
Okay, so here's a box. Just start by stacking the shelves.
Diana is this mousy, quiet person who just keeps to herself. Doesn't bother anybody, no one bothers her.
For store supervisor Michael Daly, the new girl is a perfect opportunity for a new conquest.
Michael was always on the lookout for a quick and easy conquest, and she met the criteria. Lack of self-confidence, desperate for a relationship.
If you need anything, I'm your man.
Okay.
He's got girls all over the place. This guy is just running one girl after the next.
Diana's instantly smitten. Her new job is turning out better than she ever imagined. But she has no idea what she's getting into. Michael Daly has a family, 2 sons, and wife, Sherry.
They were high school sweethearts. She really lived to take care of her boys and her husband, Michael.
Have you done your homework?
Yeah.
I don't think Sherry knew about Michael's philandering for many years, and when she did find out, she didn't want to believe it. She still wouldn't leave him. For Sherry, marriage was forever.
Even after years of cheating, Sherry still hasn't given up on her husband.
You're late.
Bad traffic.
I'll heat you up some dinner.
I've eaten.
But you could have called.
Don't start.
She wasn't willing to throw in the towel, and she was trying to be that perfect wife.
But I've been waiting for hours.
Well, it wouldn't hurt for you to miss a meal. You look like a barn animal getting fatter and uglier by the day.
Sherry became submissive and dutiful, trying to win Michael back, to get him to fall in love with her again. She was wasting her time.
Meanwhile, Michael seduces Diana with practiced ease.
Could Diana Hahn please go to the warehouse? Thank you.
She seemed somewhat desperate to have a close relationship with a male. She wanted to be loved. She wanted a family.
Diana lost herself in Michael. She lost her sense of self, if she ever had one, and her work ethic plummeted.
She and Michael Daly, they spent so much time together as opposed to working. They were separated and assigned separate departments.
There was a common knowledge at work that they were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, sorry.
Once again, her husband's behavior is an embarrassment. But this time, Sherry's determined to fight back.
Will you be home for dinner tonight?
Don't know.
She loved her husband, but reached a point where he had damaged her so much she knew she couldn't stay with him.
I can't keep living like this.
She talked about leaving, and he said, "I'll never let you have the children."
I think we should separate.
I will never let you take my children.
Michael wants everything his way. Children, lovers, and drugs. Diana is happy to play along. Even signing herself over for his pleasure.
This is for you. This is a declaration that you own my body.
She signed a contract that she would devote her body and mind to him. She merged with Michael.
Diana seems up for anything.
It's your birthday coming up. What do you want?
I want Sherry dead.
For the first time in her life, Diana has a man who wants her. It's an opportunity she can't resist.
She wanted to slip right into the life of being Michael's wife.
Diana would get the instant family love and endless adoration that she craved.
But Sherry makes the first move.
Diana, are you sleeping with my husband?
Yes, I am.
Stop destroying my family.
Hey.
Sherry confronted Mike and Diana at their place of employment.
Let's go home and talk about this.
Sherry said she was going to pound her into the ground if she didn't leave her husband alone.
It's a declaration of war. And neither woman is about to back down. Shy, mousy Diana has been transformed by love. Now she'll do anything to keep it. She vows Michael Daly will be hers or nobody's.
Diana told a coworker she was going to commit a human sacrifice for a friend for a birthday gift.
Diana goes out and she buys an axe, a wig, some handcuffs, and a fake police badge. It was nowhere near Halloween. What the hell was she planning?
Across town in Ventura, Sherry Daly's shopping trip takes an unexpected turn.
As she walked out of the store, her life changed forever. Diana pulls in behind her, similar to what a police officer would do.
Ma'am, I'm a police officer, and you're under arrest.
Posing as a police officer, Diana captures her prey almost too easily.
Sherry went with her, handcuffed. She didn't question authority.
I think that she was taken aback, did not recognize Diana, and she submitted to what she believed the authority of the state, a police officer, and she followed the directions.
But it doesn't take long for Sherry to wise up.
It wasn't until she was completely immobilized and able to move in the back seat that she realized it was Diana haunted.
And that's when things went bad.
What are you doing? Get off me!
Diana is fulfilling her lover's birthday wish. Despite a severe head wound, Sherry is not dead. But Diana's not done yet.
The knife was actually twisted once it had penetrated through Sherry's ribcage. The twisting of the knife clearly indicated a great deal of hatred, passion, pure evil.
I mean, this was just mayhem. Violent, violent mayhem.
How can you do this to her? You know, such a sweet person.
For former Detective Matt Harville, the case will become especially shocking.
Sherry was a friend of mine. We went to high school together.
He recognizes the victim's name when her husband reports her missing.
My wife is missing.
Several detectives, myself included, went to Michael's house, and I spoke to Michael personally. Just general questions.
Is there any reason why Sherry would leave?
I asked him if there was anything that we should know about, because we're going to explore all avenues.
I have a girlfriend.
And he provided me with her phone number.
Detective Harville has no reason to suspect Michael until the next morning when he visits Diana.
Good morning, ma'am.
She came to the door. She was dressed in a very revealing nightie. Black van was in the driveway of Diana's house, and that was the same black van that Michael Daly owned.
Michael, come out. Michael, come out.
And at that point, Mike came from a room at the back of the house, and he was dressed in a pair of boxer shorts.
I'm gonna need you both to come down to the station.
The police found Michael and Han together having sexual intercourse. Not exactly the thing that the grieving husband does the day after his wife was kidnapped.
Michael and Diana's future together lasts less than 48 hours. They've left a long trail of evidence.
We had bank records. We knew where she had written checks recently.
Diana's checks lead straight to a wig shop. Other documents lead to the murder weapon.
How do you purchase an axe, kill somebody with that axe, and then think, I'm not gonna get caught?
Police trace a rental car in Diana's name.
The car was full of blood, fiber and hairs and things of that nature from Sherry's murder.
There are even witnesses to the kidnapping at the shopping center.
The witnesses saw the female driver get out, who we ultimately identified as Dinah Hahn.
They left an incredible trail, and we were able to put this case together to a powerful, beyond any reasonable doubt case.
Confronted by the truth, Michael tries to throw his lover under the bus.
Mike loved Diana so much, he blamed her for singularly killing Sherry. That's how devoted he was.
It doesn't work. In 1997, the birthday boy is convicted of kidnapping, conspiracy, and first-degree murder. He's sentenced to life without parole. All Diana ever wanted was a life with a happy ending. Instead, she receives a life sentence. Guilty of first-degree murder, she has no chance of parole.
They will spend the rest of their lives in prison suffering every day.
For some people, falling in love with the right person brings out the best in them. In Diana's case, falling in love with Michael brought out the worst.
When opposites attract, sparks can fly.
This was not what she wanted to do, wanted to be.
It's time to get out.
She was conflicted.
If it's not too late.
Should I let her go, or should I kill her?
A timid woman in the modern world, 25-year-old Erin Everett keeps to herself.
Erin was an assistant at a personal care home and nursing home. She was very shy, very quiet, almost to a fault.
But when Erin first sees 21-year-old colleague Tori Minnick in Jerome, Pennsylvania, she's entranced.
She saw Tori and she thought she was beautiful. She liked how she smiled. She was vivacious and outgoing.
Erin.
Technology helps Erin out of her shell.
Rather than talk to her, she texted her because she was afraid. She was on shore. She said, "I'm gay. I'm really interested in you. Would you like to go out?" And Tori answered yes. And that's how it started.
Love blooms quickly.
You are so beautiful.
But to be with Tori, Erin must sacrifice others. Her family and her faith.
Erin was raised in a very devout Christian family.
She was very connected to her church and the activities that flowed from that, but she was also in love with a woman, and that does not go well with church doctrine.
The couple bunk with friend, 24-year-old Billy Nair, but they have little privacy.
You two want to shut your curtain?
Leave them alone.
At Billy Nair's home, there was a dining room they curtained off to make a room for Erin and Tori.
We want our own place.
Yeah, we all want that.
I have an idea.
Before long, Erin decides it's time to mend broken ties.
Mom, hey. Here?
Yeah.
Erin's parents allow the girls to move in, even though it goes against their religious beliefs.
Thanks, Mom.
When Erin started dating Tori, she stopped going to church. She stopped being part of the church community, which she had been a part of since she was like 6 years old.
Erin is overturning her life, and she wants Tori to be part of it forever.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
Tori was the first real relationship she had with a woman. And within a couple months, she was engaged. This love of her life said yes.
But Tori's not telling the whole truth. She has feelings for another. Just before she met Erin, Tori split up with her boyfriend of 3 years.
They fought on and off during that period of time, according to Tori's dad. At one time, they were fighting, and Tori was crying, like really sobbing, and he said, "This is it. This can't go on anymore."
Tori's torn between her past life and a future with Aaron. She starts to pull away.
Aaron and Tori worked separate weekends. So on the weekend, when Aaron worked, Tori would go home to be with her family.
When Tori went back to her family's home, she would take the ring off. Tori's family did not ever see the ring.
Aaron knows something's up.
You went to your parents' place last weekend.
You know I don't like being here when you're on the night shift. Your parents are here.
Erin had sacrificed all she believed in for this relationship.
You gotta stop being so clingy, babe.
You just don't love me like I love you.
I do love you. Just gotta give me some space.
Aaron could only have one best friend, to the exclusion of all other people.
If Tori goes, Aaron loses everything. "21-year-old Tori Minnick is secretly engaged to a woman. But she has no intention of marrying her because an old flame is reignited.
Her high school sweetheart.
We should move in together.
They were in the process of rekindling the relationship.
I'd like that.
You can't leave me.
I have to move out of it.
Tori's 25-year-old fiancé, Aaron, is devastated.
But I love you.
I'm so sorry. I'm moving out with Cody.
This woman tells her she's going back with her old boyfriend and she's leaving her. This was her life. They were going to grow old together. And she says, I don't love you enough to stay with you. I'm going back with my boyfriend. She never really loved me. She's using me. She destroyed my life. I have nothing to live for.
I think she snapped when she realized Tori was going to move out.
The green-eyed monster was alive and well in Aaron's heart.
First, Aaron needs help from the outside world. She turns to her old friend, 24-year-old Billy Nair.
She asked him how to use a gun, how to load it. And he texted back what to do.
Aaron loads her father's gun via text message instructions.
Billy Nair even said, send me a picture when you're done. He did not think she was serious.
It isn't anyone's place to determine if someone is serious or not when they're asking about how to load a gun, where to get bullets. It's time to pick up the phone and call the police.
The next morning, March 25th, 2011. After working the night shift, Tori takes a nap. Aaron wonders if she'll let Tori wake up.
Aaron sat on the edge of the bed, just kind of mulling all of this over, trying to decide what to do.
Aaron sat by Tori's bed watching her sleep and for 20 minutes deliberated her fate. She was conflicted.
She was thinking, should I let her go? Or should I kill her?
Aaron pulled the trigger.
She just looked at her and shot her twice in the head.
Aaron put 2 bullets in Tori's brain, and that should have been the end of it, but it wasn't.
Aaron wants to erase Tori.
She picked up a claw hammer and annihilated Tori's face. It wasn't enough to take her life. She had to obliterate her personality. I can understand Aaron being brokenhearted, hurt that she was losing Tori, but the desire to destroy Tori so that she couldn't be with someone else escapes me. That's not love, that's evil.
Erin's done the unthinkable. Now all she cares about is protecting herself.
Erin was frantic. At this point, it clicked what had happened here, what she had done.
She tried to stage the scene to make it look like there had been a burglary and that someone broke a window and came in. She broke a window, but she broke it from the inside.
Erin calls her mom.
Mom, we've been attacked.
Her mother said, just wait there, I'll be there. Her mother called 911.
As the police question Erin about the break-in,
Tell me about the intruder.
it becomes apparent her story doesn't add up.
I didn't see what he looked like.
While they were interviewing her, we had people at the scene, so everybody's in contact.
All right.
And it became clear that the evidence at the scene did not match what she was saying.
Tell me about the broken glass.
Erin ultimately confessed to the crime.
They asked why she did it, and she basically alluded to that if she couldn't have Tori, nobody could have Tori.
In November 2014, Erin Everett is sentenced to life in prison for first-degree murder without the possibility of parole. For sending Erin text instructions, Billy Nair is convicted of criminal use of a phone. He receives 45 days to a year. Feeling shunned by her community, Erin invested everything in Tori. Faced with losing her, she snapped.
If a community is more supportive of alternate lifestyles, maybe, just maybe, Erin could have got help, and maybe, just maybe, Tori would be here.
Jealousy unearthed a monster.
It's scary to think that somebody like that, who comes off as just a small girl, can snap like that and turn on a dime. If she would ever get out of prison, there would be a chance she would do that again.
By the time the murder occurred, Erin was broken, and I don't think she can be fixed.
Next, love comes in many guises.
She was the fun girl who liked to ride her horses.
But peel back the mask,
She was also the bitter, jealous ex-girlfriend.
and it isn't always pretty.
Patricia Rohrer gives jealous, vengeful women a bad name.
"33-year-old Patricia Rohrer is a cowgirl at heart.
She worked at a stable. She always had horses. She enjoyed taking care of them and then riding them in competitions.
Yeah. You gotta time me as soon as I take off.
Okay, got you, hun.
Okay, ready? Go.
Her de facto husband 30-year-old Andy Katranak is her biggest fan.
Andy was the quintessential construction guy. He liked working with his hands. He liked building stuff.
In the early 1980s, Patricia is a competitor on the Pennsylvania rodeo circuit, and she likes to win.
So how'd I do?
20 and 50.
What?
She had, I would say, a commanding presence.
That is not even close. Again. Again. Ready? Go.
Patricia was a person who had a reputation for being someone that you didn't want to mess with.
Patricia was not known to be someone who would shy away from an argument or a fight. But Patricia didn't like to use words.
Hey,
She liked to use her fists.
I have told you before, this is mine. Don't touch my stuff. Do these work? Are you listening? Can you actually?
What's going on?
She was a cowgirl. She could fight like a man and duke it out.
She deserved it.
Along with her temper, there's sadness.
What's wrong?
Patricia was married at about age 18, and she did have a baby boy who died apparently of natural causes at 3.5 months old.
She's desperate to have a baby with Andy.
When Patricia Rohr was living with him, she couldn't get pregnant. And I think that upset her.
It's gotta be you.
That's not fair.
I've already had a baby.
Come to bed.
There's no point. Not with you, anyway.
After 5 years of failing to get pregnant, she gives up on Andy. It doesn't take Patricia long to rope in a new man. At first, she's a bundle of fun, but her dark side is never far away.
He told us that they had gotten into this argument.
Come on.
Then why aren't you dating a blonde?
Whoa, relax. It's a joke.
A joke? I don't think so. Men always mean what they say, all right? I know exactly what you mean.
Don't you touch me, all right?
How dare you?
It became so heated that she actually pulled the gun out and pointed it at him and threatened to kill him.
Don't think I won't kill you. No man shoves me. No man!
Patricia wanted to make a point, and she did it with a gun in her hand.
Meanwhile, in Catasauqua, Pennsylvania, Andy finds lasting love.
So good.
In 1992, he weds 26-year-old Joanne.
My feet get so sore.
A dream catch.
Joanne was a lot of fun. She was bubbly. She was the kind of girl everybody wanted to be with.
Everyone said she was kind, happy, and just lit up a room when she walked into it.
You can thank this little guy for that.
When Andy discovers he's going to be a dad, his joy is complete. Until he gets a blast from the past.
Hey, Andy. It's Patricia.
Sorry, who is this?
What, have you forgotten me already?
It's been 5 long years since Patricia walked out on him.
How you doing?
For Andy, a lifetime ago.
I think she was still hoping that there could be a relationship between him and her.
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
Never better. I'm married with a baby on the way.
Oh, wow. It's great news.
Speaking for Andy, that's not what he wanted.
Nice to talk to you, but I've got to go.
For Patricia, now a bleached blonde, living far away in North Carolina, it's a stinging blow.
Patricia was holding out hope that she and Andy would get back together again. But being married with a baby on the way made that impossible.
But Patricia's not the type of woman to take no for an answer.
You can't tell me what to do. I just did.
In Catasauqua, Pennsylvania, Andy and Joanne Katranak have a new arrival. Baby boy Alex. But Andy's ex, Patricia Rohrer, is consumed by jealousy.
To put it mildly, Patricia could not let Andy go. She knew he was married and had a new baby.
But that doesn't stop her from trying to lure him back.
Hello? Oh, hey, it's Patricia. Can I speak to Andy?
It's that Patricia.
Joanne was not only upset but angry that Patricia Rohrer called again and obviously wanted to continue the relationship.
Andy doesn't want to talk to you.
And she told her in no uncertain terms that she was not to call back.
We don't want you calling here again.
You can't tell me what to do.
I just did.
And hung up on her.
That was a slap in the face to Patricia. It was bad enough that Andy didn't want to talk to her, but that his wife told her, unbearable.
Even worse, the couple has what Patricia's always wanted.
Andrew and Joanne had a child. I think that was what upset her the most.
Patricia was a powder keg. When Joanne said don't call her anymore, that lit the fuse.
On December 15th, 1994, Patricia drives across the country to Andy's house. But he's not the one she's stalking.
Hey, Mom, it's me.
While she's inside, she overhears Joanne talking to her mother-in-law, making plans to go out shopping.
I'll pick you up in about half an hour or so. Okay, bye.
She cut the phone line and then decided to wait for Joanne and the baby out in the alley beside the house.
Put baby in the car and get in the driver's seat. Don't look. Go. Enough. Come on.
Her plan is to hurt Andy through those he loves the most.
Driver's seat now.
They head for a lonely field 15 miles from town.
Why are you doing this?
Move. Keep walking.
Please don't hurt my baby.
Shut up. Stop there. Turn around.
It's hard to imagine what it was like for Joanne.
Please don't hurt my baby.
She must have known something horrible was about to happen,
On your knees.
but there was nothing she could do. She was paralyzed with fear.
I'm certain that at some point, Joanne probably pleaded for her life and the life of her child. She points the gun at Joanne's head and fires, hitting Joanne in the face. The shot did not kill.
Patricia delivers her death sentence. 19 savage blows with the butt of the gun.
Hitting someone 19 times in the face after they've been shot is punishment. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you.
She doesn't spare baby Alex.
Investigators couldn't figure out exactly how the baby died. It was either that the baby was suffocated or left to just die of exposure.
By killing him, she was sending Andy a message. You will have pain and suffering the rest of your life. Don't forget who did it to you.
Ready?
At 6 p.m., Andy comes home to a cold and empty house.
Joanne! Joanne!
He noticed that the basement door had been broken into. He also noticed that the phone lines had been cut.
He was very concerned that something terrible had happened to them.
Andy reports them missing to police. But their disappearance is a mystery. Until 4 months later, the bodies are discovered.
Patricia chose an area she was familiar with, where she rode her horses, as a place for the murder.
It's the first clue, and the crime scene quickly gives up another.
The officers find a number of hairs, and they are put into evidence.
But the hairs are blonde, and Patricia's known as a brunette.
We're mystified of the fact that she's got brown hair and we have blonde hair.
It's 2.5 years before police get the breakthrough they need. A photo taken around the time of the murders.
In that picture, she had blonde hair. It was dyed dirty blonde. And so that was what made them think, aha, we've got her.
Patricia thinks she's got away with murder. By now, she finally has a child of her own. But not for much longer.
Ma'am, are you Patricia Aurora?
How can I help you, officers?
We're here to arrest you for the murder of Joanne and Alex Gatrine.
In 1998, Patricia Rohrer is convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Patricia's daughter faces a life without a mother. Andy faces his without his wife and son.
It wouldn't surprise me to know that every night before she goes to sleep in her prison cell, Patricia's smiling because of the pain she caused Andy. Patricia's a stone-cold psychopath.
These deadly women didn't know the meaning of true love. To please her lover, Diana Hahn sacrificed a young mother. Erin Everett chose to murder her fiancé rather than set her free. And Patricia Rohrer destroyed her ex by destroying his family. Their heartless acts were driven by jealousy and revenge. They were green-eyed monsters. Marriage vows are easy to make, but not so easy to keep.
Well, aren't you a strapping lad?
If a woman craves more from life than love. A young mom sees her family as an obstacle to freedom.
They had to put him back together for the funeral.
A housewife has a secret addiction. Murder.
This was something that she did, something that she enjoyed, something that she liked.
Just give it time, okay?
And a cheating wife uses her lovers for more than a good time.
They were trying to obliterate his entire existence. They were trying to obliterate his identity.
These deadly women treat loved ones like assets to be liquidated so they can collect the death benefits. All of us have sleepless nights.
Her story was she couldn't sleep that particular night. She suffered from insomnia.
Some married women with children don't want that life anymore. And they tell their husband that and they leave.
But sometimes real life presents real nightmares.
It was a violent attack.
Please help my husband!
In the California suburb of Rowland Heights in 2007, 27-year-old Neil Williams is a stay-at-home dad, prime caregiver to his 2 sons, 7-year-old Devin and Ian, 3.
Family values were very important to Neil, and he really loved being a dad. He was having so much fun being a dad.
But one person their charm can no longer win over is mom, 27-year-old Manling.
Manling seemed to be crazy about the boys when they were little, when they were babies.
Neil's mom, Jan Williams, noticed her daughter-in-law change as the boys grew.
As they became people, I felt like she was becoming more and more distant from them.
As they learned how to talk and they could do things for themselves, she would basically just say, go take care of it yourself.
Domestic life is a bore for Manling. She's not interested in keeping house or tending to her family's needs. She misses being a carefree woman.
Ling liked to be the center of attention, especially among her circle of friends. She liked to be the queen bee.
Mommy, I want to cuddle.
Mommy's busy. She spent more and more time away from Neil and just hanging out with friends.
Look, I know I have the policy you're looking for.
To gain her freedom, Manling finds a job as a waitress and insists her husband works from home, selling insurance.
I got it right here. Listen to this. Oh, okay, I'll contact you tomorrow to thank you.
The insurance was his business, but it wasn't going very well at all.
Neil has more interest in collecting exotic swords than being a salesman. He is not earning much money, and they are relying on Manling's meager wages.
They were strapped for money. There was some financial issues going on.
I'm doing my best.
Oh, well, your best isn't good enough. I'm sick of doing everything for this family.
Some married women with children don't want that life anymore. And they tell their husband that and they leave.
I want a divorce.
Ling, don't say that. You and the boys are everything I've got.
And he loved her very much. He loved his family. He came from a single-parent home himself, and he wanted his kids to have both parents in their lives.
Manling agrees to stay, but her heart isn't in it. She keeps thinking about an old flame.
They were actually high school sweethearts for a very short amount of time. They both attended the same high school. And then Manling reached out over the internet, and that's how it started again.
A week later, Manling attends a high school reunion for two.
She went up to Santa Barbara and spent the weekend with him.
Let's stay here all day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You might get sick of me.
No way. That'll never happen.
That relationship did a lot for her, and it offered her, in her mind, the freedom she wanted.
I thought it was very cold when I found out later because she had asked me to watch the boys that weekend. I mean, who asks their mother-in-law to take care of their kids while they go off and have an affair?
Manling is far from caring. This is where she wants to be. But in the cold light of day, her lover is having doubts.
Let's go away next time.
Ling, there is no next time.
What do you mean?
He started feeling bad about it because she was married with children and he wanted to break it off.
You're married, you have kids.
But I love you.
Ling.
No, please.
Manling has enjoyed a slice of liberty, a taste of freedom, and now it's gone. There's only one place to go: home.
I think Manling unraveled at the idea of losing her lover. I think in her grief over the loss of that relationship was more than she could bear. That was probably the catalyst for what was to come.
August 7th, 2007. A hot summer night in Rowland Heights, California.
Who ordered ham and pineapple?
The Williams family gathers for dinner. But 27-year-old Manling no longer feels any domestic bliss.
She seemed to be pulling away from them. I thought that was strange. I thought maybe she was planning to leave them.
A brief fling gives her a taste of freedom. But her lover has rejected her.
I think she was tired of her life, and she thought of all the things that she could have different. She didn't want her life with Neil anymore.
Distracted and distant from her husband and children, Manling looks for comfort elsewhere.
Manling's family and friends reported that she was reaching out. She would call her sister at 3 in the morning and say that she just wanted to hear her voice.
Horrific nightmares are disturbing Manling.
She had a reoccurring dream that she would come home and Neil would have strangled the kids or killed the kids and then killed himself.
Perhaps she was laying the groundwork for what was to come.
Manling can't face the shame of divorce. But there are other ways to end a marriage. She waits for Neil and her 2 boys to go to bed. Manling targets her most vulnerable son first. 3-year-old Ian.
She put the pillow over little Ian's face first and killed him. And then she climbed into the top bunk and killed Evan.
Suffocating each one of her children separately for the amount of time that it took to kill them with her own hands is beyond any words This is a mother who carried these children for 9 months and who lived with them for 7 years. There were other swords in that room as Neil collected them, but she chose the largest sword and the most dangerous.
I think Manling probably blamed her husband for her plight as she saw it. Being a mother saddled with 2 kids, a husband, it wasn't what she wanted. I think she snapped.
She just went at him like she was chopping him up for meat.
Neil tries to flee, but can't escape his wife's fury or the blade she wields.
Manling stabbed her husband 97 times.
They found him face down in the hallway with his face toward the little boy's room. So it could have been he was trying to get to his boys and protect his boys.
Manling then celebrates her freedom. She heads out for drinks with coworkers.
I think she was probably able to massacre her family 1 minute and look perfectly normal the next because she was able to detach her feelings, if she ever had them.
When she returns after a very late night, she prepares for the performance of her life. She leaves the house at dawn for a quiet smoke.
Her story was she couldn't sleep that particular night. She suffered from insomnia.
Then she returns home to discover her family dead.
Help! Help! Please help my husband!
Homicide investigator Sergeant Don Walls was one of the first police at the scene.
She's looking distraught, she's acting distraught, and the first thing she asked me and my partner,
How are my boys? How's my husband?
well, we had to inform her that they had all passed on. And then she starts acting distraught to the point she drags over a trash can.
But seasoned cops aren't fooled so easily.
I'm watching her, and although she's making the noises, there's nothing expelling from her.
Forensics confirms investigators' suspicions. Neil's blood is found on Manling's cigarette box.
How no blood gets in there when all the blood's in there. Basically, because of that evidence and some other little things that we had found, we placed her under arrest. It was almost a shocking revelation that she said. She looked at me and my partner and said, I am torn between getting an attorney and just telling you what happened. And she went ahead and waived her rights and told us the story about how she killed.
Manling Williams is found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder. On January 19th, 2012, she receives her sentence, death.
I don't think society would ever be safe with Manling among us. She killed her entire family. If she snapped once, What's to say it couldn't happen again?
The cost of a woman wanting freedom. 3 innocent lives stolen.
I miss Neil, I miss the boys, I miss them every day. All those milestones, all those hopes and dreams, she stole them not just from them, but she stole those things from us too. To see the boys grow, play soccer or play baseball, go to the first dance, learn to drive. All of those things will never happen now.
Manling is currently on death row in the Central California Women's Facility. Some families seem cursed.
She truly loved her last husband. She loved him to death.
They suffer losses too great to overcome.
A death that was horrible and anguished and filled with pain.
And too horrific to understand.
This was something that she did, something that she enjoyed, something that she liked.
This will make you feel better.
(1950), downtown Montgomery, Alabama. 51-year-old Claude Martin is a newly married man.
There she is, the new stepmama.
Awash with happiness, Claude brings his 30-year-old son, Bud, to meet his new wife. Rhonda Bell Martin, a 44-year-old waitress in the local diner.
You look happy, Dad. I am. She's one hell of a good cook.
She is not a typical beauty.
Hi there, I'm Rhonda.
But to husband Claude, Rhonda is the belle of the ball.
She was a waitress, a housewife, just an ordinary woman.
Well, aren't you a strapping lad?
She had a charismatic personality that drew people to her.
Rhonda has an adoring new husband and a handsome new stepson.
Can I get you something? You know what? How about I get you something special, okay?
The small family is content and complete.
Isn't she great, Bud?
Yeah, she's real nice, Dad.
Then tragedy strikes. Just 1 year after marrying, Claude gets a mystery virus.
We gotta get him to a hospital.
We'll take care of him better than any nurse will.
Rhonda is an attentive wife. She never leaves his side.
Need some liquid now, okay?
Rhonda prided herself on the excellent nursing care that she gave family members.
But Claude doesn't improve. Rhonda's love can't save him.
You're doing so good. Just give it time.
Doctors are at a loss.
Claude? Claude?
To lose a husband is devastating. And most widows would be grief-stricken. But Rhonda quickly finds solace in the arms of forbidden love.
After he died, she had her eye on her own stepson. And she started hanging around with him and being sexually involved with him, which is kind of strange for any stepmother to do.
The mother and stepson's love affair is scandalous.
Oh, she is just shameless. Her own stepson.
But Bud doesn't care. He's fallen for the same charm that snared his father.
Amazing.
You know, she might have been a little bit more promiscuous than the average woman in that period, so she had no trouble drawing men into her circle.
Rhonda was very skilled at luring men into her web.
Close your eyes.
Despite the close family ties and age difference, within months, Bud proposes.
Okay, you can open them.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
What do you say? Will you marry me?
Yes! Yes! Oh my God! Put it on!
In the early 50s, it was a bit outrageous for any woman to marry a man 20 years younger. And that was the age difference between Rhonda and her new stepson.
I'm getting married! Ah! You gotta be kidding me. Claude must be turning in his grave.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Bud and Rhonda enjoy 4 years of marriage. But in 1955, tragedy strikes again. Bud is sick.
Bud suffers for nearly a year. Eventually, he becomes paralyzed, and nobody can figure out what kind of affliction is affecting Bud.
Medical intervention pulls Bud from the brink, but doctors want to know what put him there. They find the answer by analyzing his hair.
At the hospital, they discovered that Bud has been poisoned, and he had arsenic in his system.
Suspicion begins to swirl around Rhonda.
Obviously, they now begin to look at the wife who was already, it was controversial, this marriage, and they begin investigating Rhonda's past.
Police discover that death follows Rhonda like a gloomy shadow.
2 husbands, 3 of her 5 children, and her mother.
(1956), Montgomery, Alabama. 49-year-old waitress, Rhonda Bell Martin, is a controversial woman.
Claude?
When her husband dies,
Beautiful.
she marries her stepson, Bud. But when he almost dies, Rhonda is suspected of poisoning them both. When police investigate her past, they find something even more shocking. Almost 2 decades earlier, in 1937, Rhonda is married to her first husband, George Garrett. They once had 3 daughters, but now there are only 2.
Why did she have to die?
Rhonda's first victim was her own 3-year-old daughter, Imogene.
Rhonda starts with the smallest. But 2 years later, she picks on someone her own size. Husband, George.
In order to kill George Garrett, Rhonda put arsenic in his whiskey, and it took several doses. Even after seeing the torturous way her little girl died, she chose to use that method one more time and kill her husband.
Rhonda used a method of murder very common among women serial killers: poison. It allows the killer to poison their victim and then move away and let the poison do the dirty work.
The killings seem even more senseless because Rhonda isn't getting any real financial reward.
She made very little money. I think in one case, the most she got was insurance policy that actually covered only the funeral. So certainly profit motive may not be the issue, but then again, with serial killers, they don't think like us. Serial killers can kill you for a cigarette.
When a killer feels they have power over another person's life to let them live or kill them, that can be very heady stuff. And when they do it, they like it.
For Rhonda, the benefit of death is death itself.
The fact that they like it reinforces that they will do it again, and it becomes a compulsive behavior.
Once Rhonda starts, she can't stop. Her next victim is her 6-year-old daughter, Anne.
This'll make you feel better. Thank you.
This time, she killed another one of her own children by putting ant poison in her milk.
Three years later, Rhonda's eldest daughter, 11-year-old Ellen, is fed her fate.
Thanks, Mom.
Good girl.
Rhonda's not finished with her poisonous potions. She now turns on her own mom, Mary.
Once again, she used her favorite, arsenic, and delivered a death to her mother that was horrible and anguished and filled with pain. It didn't bother Rhonda one little bit.
In 7 years, Rhonda stole 5 lives, and no one suspected her for 2 decades. Until they go back to their graves.
It was easy to investigate this case because all the bodies were buried very neatly in the same cemetery plot. There was this carnival atmosphere as they exhumed the bodies.
And everyone they exhumed, arsenic, 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 everywhere they looked.
Caught cold, Rhonda is arrested and confesses to killing 2 husbands, her mother, and 3 children, but can't explain why she took her loved ones' lives.
I can understand someone saying they don't know why they did a killing, but Rhonda kept doing it. I think she simply didn't want to admit that she liked it.
But there is one truth Rhonda can accept. No one is safe unless she's behind bars.
You think you're gonna get out of this place?
I don't want to get out of this place ever.
Rhonda was so aware of her compulsion to kill, she actually advised prison authorities that if she were released, she probably would do it again.
But she isn't in prison for long. A jury finds Rhonda Bell Martin guilty of murder. Her obsession with death leads to her own execution on October 11th, 1957. She leaves the living a present, her brain.
I think Rhonda wanted her body donated to science so that her brain could be studied, kind of as a grand gesture on her way out. It was also another way of not taking any responsibility for the murders. Kind of like, the devil made me do it. Maybe you'll find him in here.
Some women go looking for danger.
She would routinely pick up men for sexual pleasure.
some will pay for it.
How does 45,000 sound?
They were not serious professional hitmen, and they certainly weren't brilliant guys.
And some invited home.
She wanted James dead, and she didn't care how it happened.
In Midwest City, Oklahoma, 1988. Jim Plants, 33, enjoys a rare treat, the day off. It's not often he sees sunlight. Jim works night shifts at the local newspaper.
He was a skilled blue-collar craftsman, I guess you would say. And they lived in a suburban house, so he was apparently a good provider for his family.
He's been married to his childhood sweetheart, Marilyn, for 12 years.
James and Marilyn met when apparently Marilyn was 15 and he was 21.
Jim was Marilyn's first love. She quit high school to marry him. But with Jim away at night, Marilyn grows lonely and restless.
Hi, it's me. Jim's on the night shift.
Loneliness is easily remedied if you trawl the streets for sex. That's how Marilyn meets her latest lover, William Bryson, an 18-year-old car thief. She invites him home and makes sure they are not disturbed.
We have evidence that she would drug her kids with cough syrup and put them into the bedroom and lock the door.
She doesn't want them to hear what's going on in Mommy and Daddy's room.
Why did he just leave?
Marilyn wants to end her marriage, but not with a divorce.
Mr. Plants, wanting to take care of his family, raised his insurance from approximately $100,000 to well over $300,000.
She knows that Jim's worth more to her dead. Marilyn hatches a plan with her lover and his 18-year-old friend, Clinton McKimble.
I'll definitely make it worth your while.
Bryson and Kimball were best friends. Neither one of them finished high school, but they were involved in just petty crimes.
Marilyn makes up horror stories about how her husband treats her badly.
Marilyn was able to convince both Bryson and McKimble that her husband was beating her and abusing her. But they were only 18-year-olds. It was easy for her.
She also offers the teens a large sum of money.
How does 45,000 sound?
But they were no match for Marilyn Plants. She was able to wrap them around her little finger.
August 25th, 1988. The Plants' 2 children are sleeping. Marilyn invites her young lovers home and feeds them drugs and alcohol. She is priming them for action before her husband gets home from the night shift.
Prison comes early.
Marilyn was supplying both these young men with drugs and sex, so it's natural that they would want to protect her and keep that good stuff coming.
Woo! Get some of that.
I'm off to bed. I'll leave you to it.
Marilyn doesn't want to dirty her own hands.
Marilyn wanted James dead, and she didn't care how it happened. She had ice in her veins.
In Midwest City, Oklahoma, 28-year-old Marilyn Plants is leading a double life. Preferring the company of young lovers and greedy for cash, she wants a quick end to her marriage. On August 26, 1988, her husband, Jim, arrives home from the night shift. William Bryson and Clinton McKimble, two petty criminals, lie in wait.
Who are you? What are you doing in my...
Then they started beating him with the baseball bats. Each of them hit him in excess of 10 times. Jim Plants was thinking the whole time that he was being beaten that these people were going to attack his wife and family.
But Marilyn is safe and sound and listening.
Marilyn would have heard everything that went on. The baseball bats hitting the door where she was behind.
Stop!
With the dirty work done, Marilyn moves on to phase 2.
Marilyn knew that if her husband died in an accident, that the life insurance would pay double.
What do we do?
You burn him.
The teenagers drive Jim's body in his car to a remote area, while Marilyn plays the concerned wife.
First thing they did, they thought they could blow up the car by putting a rag and lighting it within the gas tank. Well, that didn't explode.
And it ain't working.
Yes, hello? I'd like to report my husband missing.
Then they poured gasoline on him and all over the car.
They were trying to obliterate his entire existence. They were trying to obliterate his identity.
They think they are disposing of a body, but they're not. Jim is still alive.
Help me! Please help me! Help me!
But they are beyond the point of no return.
Evidence indicate that he was alive at the time that he was being burned. He was burned, charred, but with his left foot out the door, and the door was ajar as he was trying to get out.
Murdering a spouse for their insurance money is not as easy as many people think it is. Insurance companies don't automatically write a big check for a grieving spouse. They investigate the death themselves, and they are more suspicious than the police.
But it won't be the insurance company who gets the first clue. Detective Ralph Gibson is called to investigate the fiery death and starts at the victim's home. Marilyn's sloppy cleanup makes his job easier than normal.
Immediately found the baseball bats that had blood and a tissue matter on two of the baseball bats. I looked in the living room, and there was a brand new rug. I pulled it up, and I seen that the carpet had been bleached. So when I cut out the square and flipped it over, sure enough, the back of the rug was soaked in blood.
Marilyn claims she knows nothing, but her young killers soon tell the police everything. All three are charged with murder and arson.
No one ever claimed that she participated in the actual physical killing of Jim Plants, but the state was able to make the case that she had hired Bryson and McKimble to kill Jim and had helped to plan it, and that she participated in it as an accomplice by cleaning up.
They are all found guilty. Clinton McKimble receives life. William Bryson receives the death penalty. So does Marilyn Plants. On May 1st, 2001, she is executed by lethal injection.
There's very few pure random killings. They're tied to money, they're tied to relationships, and they're tied to love. This one had all three.
In the end, Marilyn didn't get the life insurance money. She got a needle in her arm.
I believe Marilyn deserved a death penalty. Actually, I think she earned it.
These women's desires were more important than the lives of loved ones. Mandling Williams wanted freedom more than her family. Rhonda Bell Martin killed for decades to satisfy her addiction. And Marilyn Plants cashed in her husband's life for his life insurance. These deadly women only cared about themselves. They had no qualms eliminating family so they could collect death benefits. Growing up is hard to do.
It's so unfair.
Sometimes even deadly.
Jealousy is the main motivator of murder.
Unfulfilled dreams drive a girl to the unthinkable.
It was just a mounting fury.
Envy turns best friends into lethal enemies.
They took something away from me that I can never have again.
I love you.
And an infatuated teen wants her love at any cost.
Her jugular vein was shredded to ribbons.
These teenagers harbor resentments that make them deadly delinquents. In 1984, in the affluent suburb of Orinda, California. Cheerleader tryouts are in full swing at Miramonte High School. Competition is fierce for the prized squad positions.
And Somerset, you're up.
Cheerleading in those days was a terribly important status for young girls.
At the top of her game, 15-year-old Kirsten Costas.
Ready? Okay. Nothing's gonna stop us. You know just what I mean. We're gonna fire up.
Just a spirited young girl.
They're starting to get lazy. They're starting to mess up.
She has tremendous self-confidence. Everyone wanted to be like Kirsten.
No one more than 15-year-old classmate Bernadette Prody.
Bernadette aspired to be a cheerleader because it was a way for her to become part of the most popular group, she thought.
Ready? Okay. Nothing's gonna stop us. You know just what I mean. We're gonna fire up and beat the other team.
She was never satisfied with her status.
They're starting.
She always felt she was inadequate.
We're gonna keep on fighting until we win the cup.
Bernadette craves acceptance and admiration, something being a cheerleader could bring her.
It was a way of saying, you have arrived. You are now anointed one of the popular girls. Kirsten Costas became a cheerleader, and Bernadette Prody did not.
It is a crushing blow for the young teenager.
It was basically in her mind or psyche that she was inferior, that she didn't measure up.
For a lot of teenagers, the most important thing in their life is what's going on now and their peer group.
Bernadette receives another blow when she doesn't make the yearbook committee.
Plenty of girls didn't make it. She's not the only one who didn't make it. But for her, it was pretty devastating. It was a double whammy.
At least you're still in the Baba ranks. Nobody cares about being a Bobby anymore, Jody. It's about being on the yearbook that matters now. And about being a cheerleader. I so wanted to be a cheerleader, Jody. I tried so hard. I know you did good.
Bernadette starts to blame one person for her failures.
My mom got it for me.
The class queen, Kirsten Costas.
It's so unfair. She has everything and I have nothing.
She even takes offense at her rival's offhand comments.
Oh my God, whose are these? I think they're due for retirement. We can't all be rich and perfect, Kirsten. I didn't mean it like that, Bernadette.
Probably innocent enough, but Bernadette really took that as someone putting her down and made her feel very inadequate.
Whatever she tries, Bernadette can't compete with Kirsten.
I think Kirsten was a symbol of what she wanted to be but couldn't be. And I think it bothered her terribly.
There's resentment brewing that is bound to explode.
Perhaps she thought if she eliminated Kirsten, all would be well.
In 1984, 15-year-old high school freshman Bernadette Prody is consumed with jealousy.
Kirsten was the girl who she really wanted to be, and I think it was just a mounting fury.
Her rival is Kirsten Costas.
It's so unfair.
But she won't be a rival for long. Bernadette starts with a trap, pretending to be a member of Kirsten's sorority.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Costas. This is a friend of Kirsten's from the Bobbies.
I'm afraid Kirsten isn't here right now.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay. I just wanted you to let her know that we're having a top secret initiation dinner on Saturday night. And can you tell her that we'll pick her up from her place at 6 p.m.?
Bernadette invites her to a dinner.
All right, then.
No one fears foul play.
Mrs. Costas, goodbye.
I don't think it ever occurred to the Costases that it was anything other than a surprise invitation and that their daughter would probably have a great time.
Kirsten Costas will soon find out there is no dinner party.
What the hell are you stopping here for? Because I want to talk. Just
There was no meal. The only thing on the menu was murder.
why aren't we friends, Kirsten? I mean, I tried so hard with you. I thought we were friends. Well, then why do you always treat me like I'm a weirdo? I never thought you were a weirdo until tonight. I am not a weirdo! This is going nowhere. No!
For the first time, Kirsten realizes her classmate is obsessed with her. But now she is trapped in an unfamiliar suburb.
Kirsten ran to a house and sought help from complete strangers.
What is the problem?
Oh, my friend's got all weird on me. Oh, can I please come in and use your phone? Oh, please!
He seemed very upset, so the gentleman of the house decided that he would offer to take her home.
But Kirsten's parents aren't home.
Thank you so much for driving me home.
You're welcome. You think your parents will be home soon?
I hope so.
Why don't I wait here till you get inside safely?
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
And Bernadette is one step ahead of them.
Appeared to be a teenage girl, came out of the bushes, and he thought initially it was a fist fight.
The Good Samaritan doesn't see Bernadette's knife. Not realizing Kirsten is fatally wounded, he pursues the attacker.
He followed her for some distance.
And midway, he thought, wait a minute, I have to go back and see what happened to Kirsten.
A neighbor has already found the dying teen.
The way that Bernadette killed Kirsten, repeatedly stabbing her, shows how out of control her jealousy and rage was.
I can't stop the blood!
Bernadette was in a lot of pain, and she thought killing Kirsten would end that pain.
It's a shocking crime that terrifies the middle-class neighborhood.
It had to have been someone who was in a drug-induced haze. It had to have been an outsider, because people in Orinda didn't do things like this. They didn't have a motive. I mean, no one could make sense of it.
No one, not even the Good Samaritan, suspects Kirsten's young classmate. For 6 months, Bernadette keeps her secret until she can no longer live with her guilt.
Bernadette was leaving for school, so she just told her mother, well, there's a note on the counter for you that will explain this.
She can't bear to speak the truth, so she writes it.
I've been able to live with it for a while, but I can't ignore it. I'm even worse than words can describe, and I hate myself. Don't ask why, because I don't understand this, and I don't know why. I'm sorry.
In March 1985, 16-year-old Bernadette Prody is found guilty of second-degree murder. She is sentenced to a maximum of 9 years in the California Youth Authority. Her quest for popularity destroys Kirsten and her parents' memories.
Kirsten's mother would tell me that she couldn't hear another girl laugh or couldn't see other kids without crying. And I'm sure that lasted for years, if not forever.
At 23 years of age, after 7 years in custody, Bernadette is released. She now lives under a new identity. When a popular teenager is murdered.
Probably one of the most notorious murder cases in the 1980s.
Friends vow to find the killer.
And it was based on a slow, burning jealousy.
You really think I would try and steal your boyfriend?
They won't have to look very far.
The murderer was sitting right next to my mom.
In Arrieta, California, in the early 80s, 3 teen girls share everything.
This is our Priscilla prom queen. We used to play with her when we were 8. Do you remember? She was our favorite. We both wanted to be prom queens.
They played with the same dolls. They swang on the same swings.
It's like she got little flesh colored underwear on.
They slept over at each other's houses. And they even basically shared each other's mothers as nurturing moms in the community.
I can see her in that dress, too. Yeah.
Growing up on the same street, Missy Avila and Karen Severson think of each other as sisters.
Karen was at my house every day, or my sister was at her house every day.
Oh, I love this song.
Laura Doyle lives just around the corner.
Laura came in the scene, I would say, maybe starting junior high. They were all very close friends. Usually when you have a best friend, you have one, but it was them 3.
At 15, life takes them down very different paths when Karen becomes a single mom.
I want one. Here, take mine.
They were still friends, but they weren't as close as they used to be.
It's all worth it now, right? Easy for you to say.
My sister started hanging out with different people, doing her own thing.
You can't smoke around a baby.
Missy is footloose and carefree. Karen's world is baby, bottles, and resentment.
You make a better
By the time they were 16, Missy Avila had become a swan, so to speak, and Karen was less successful.
Hey, do you think this dress is too short?
No, it's fine.
Really?
Once, Karen and Laura would have been happy for Missy. But in their teen years, it's different.
There were mounting jealousies, particularly with Missy's beauty and her charm and her boyfriends.
That was the root of the problem with Missy and Karen and Laura.
I think Laura and Karen did not know how to deal with the feelings they had for Missy.
We're gonna go.
Their feelings were changing from childhood friendship love to something else.
Missy!
Coming.
Things escalate when Laura and Karen accuse Missy of trying to steal their boyfriends.
She's so two-faced. It's like she's got one personality for us and another one for them.
She's so fake, it makes me sick.
Bitch, why are you always flirting with my boyfriend?
Hey, it's fine. We're just talking.
Shut up.
You really think I would try and steal your boyfriend? As if I would ever do that. We know you slept with Victor. But no, I didn't.
She was very hurt. She was very sad.
Two-faced bitch. I'll never trust you again.
There were real strong animosities emerging, and threats, too.
You gonna cry?
Aww,
Wah, wah.
The childhood bond is broken. But Karen and Laura are planning one last play date.
Laura said that she wanted to pick up Missy to hang out and to make amends, I guess. And my mom and Missy talked about it, and Missy said, yeah, it's good.
Bye. Bye, where are you going? Stoner's Park.
My sister ran to the car and then came back and told me and my mom that she loved us.
I love you guys.
My mom's like, you're crazy, just go and do whatever you're gonna go do.
Have fun.
She said, okay, I'll see you later.
Missy thinks the three girls will be together again, like the happy times they shared for a decade. Missy's wrong.
I don't think Missy ever had any idea the danger she was in from her friends.
In Arrieta, California, childhood memories are being torn apart by teenage jealousy. 17-year-old Missy Avila can have any boy she wants.
Hey, do you think this dress is too short?
Her lifetime girlfriends, Karen and Laura, can't stand the competition. On October 1st, 1985, the rivalry will end.
Wait here.
Oh, look. It's the little slut. What did you say?
She called you a slut. That's what you are when you sleep with all the boys in school.
I already told you guys I didn't touch any of them. Get out.
I think when Laura and Karen took Missy out to the park that day, they were planning on killing her.
Wasn't enough to just screw around. You had to sleep with Victor. I didn't sleep with anyone. I swear.
So full of crap.
Karen has brought her roommate along.
You're scum. You betrayed your friends and you're gonna pay. No,
Yeah,
I swear.
and this is how.
But she wants none of the violence and flees.
The attack by Laura and Karen on their friend Missy was not only brutal, it was humiliating.
Oh, wait, no.
Hey there.
They had tried to degrade her and torture her a little bit.
Not gonna get the boys anymore, are
As if to destroy her beauty and her charm.
Get her into the water!
To rub her out.
Put her in! Get her in there!
She ended up face down in the stream, beaten and abused, and drowned in 8 inches of water.
Let's put that log on her.
Missy only weighed like 90 pounds, and the log was like over 100 pounds. They put the log on there to finish the job.
Missy's mom expects her daughter to come home, elated.
Hello. Hi, Mrs. Avila.
Instead, she receives a strange call.
Is Missy there? Missy? No, I thought she was with you. Yeah, she was. But I had to go get some gas, and when I got back, she was gone. Gone where? I don't know. That's what I saw her.
3 days later, hikers discover Missy's body.
Hey, Jim. Somebody had beaten her rather severely.
All right, we should tell the cops now.
She had actually drowned in the stream, so she was alive when she was put there.
That evening, a police car showed up with 2 detectives, and they came in.
Did you find her?
I'm afraid we have some.
And I just remember, sorry. Me being in the room and hearing my mom scream.
'Karen twists the knife even deeper.
Missy used to hold my hand all the way home from school.
She moves in with her victim's family, as if taking Missy's place.
And then we used to talk on the phone all night.
I remember that. I could never get a line out. And that stopped. And this one starts.
Oh.
So much of betrayal.
You have a girlfriend?
No. There's a lot of hate that I feel towards her for doing that. There's no really words for it. To know that a person can be like that and do that.
Missy's favorite meal. She loved roast chicken.
The murderer was sitting right next to my mom during that whole time.
But not everyone is fooled. The police immediately suspect Missy's girlfriends.
Well, best friends quite often kill best friends. And the manner in which the little girl was put into the stream, and especially the cutting of the hair, it just all seemed to fit together right at the beginning.
But without any solid evidence, the police can't act. Then, 3 years later, another death prompts a confession from the only eyewitness, Karen's roommate.
Her brother had recently committed suicide. The grief she felt, she knew that we were feeling all these years.
Everybody knows, everybody!
And that Laura and Karen should not be able to get away with it. She reported them, and they immediately made the arrest.
In 1989, Karen Severson and Laura Doyle are convicted of murder in the second degree. Both are sentenced to 15 years to life. So far, parole has been denied.
When Karen and Laura killed Missy, it wasn't on a whim. It wasn't blind, uncontrollable rage. It was a slow, burning jealousy.
For Karen and Laura, childhood friendship proved no match for teenage angst.
I would ask them why. Why did this all happen? What gave you the right to take her life? I despise them. They took something away from me that I could never have again.
When first love goes wrong.
Why are you even with her?
The thought of losing him was, quite frankly, unbearable.
I know you're there!
A person can be hurt, scarred.
Nothing was going to stand in her way.
Sometimes even murdered.
She wasn't a friend, she wasn't an enemy, she was just a young woman who had something that she wanted.
It's the spring of 1998. In the seaside city of Perth, Western Australia, where young love is on the rocks.
Why won't you talk to me?
I'm done talking. All we do is talk.
The least you can do is give me an explanation.
You're too possessive. You go crazy over any girl I...
19-year-old Mike breaks up with his girlfriend.
Because I love you.
18-year-old Kelly Fuller.
No, Kelly. I can't do this.
He had left her because she was too possessive.
You go crazy over...
She had trouble, obviously, accepting that it was over.
It's over.
Don't say that, it's not over.
But Kelly has a weakness, a possessive nature.
It's not over.
She was always needing to be the centre of some big drama and attracting sympathy and those sorts of things.
I can't live without you.
Kelly is known for her demanding nature.
Crazy bitch.
When a rageful person destroys their lover's property, it's a sign that things could get worse. For me, I'd get out of town. Wanting a quieter life, Mike Bloom moves on.
This is supposed to be the cutest snack club I've ever seen.
To 15-year-old Jessica Lang, a carefree, down-to-earth girl.
I'll get you for that.
That's what I'm hoping.
The snacks.
He was the DJ at the roller skating rink, and she had a job in the cafe there, so they got to know each other that way.
But Mike's flirting attracts unwanted scrutiny from his ex.
When she realised that he'd begun to see Jessica, that seemed to make her want him back more.
Mike, please answer the phone. Answer the phone. Answer the phone!
She was enraged,
Just answer the phone!
and she was not willing to accept it.
I think Kelly had a neurotic need to be desired and loved by boys. Reasoning and logic never entered into Kelly's thoughts.
I know you're there!
That maybe Mick might just be a blip on the radar screen of her life. For Kelly, it was all right now, all-consuming. There was no future without Mick.
What Kelly doesn't know is Jessica isn't actually a rival at all.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, honey. What are you up to?
Guess what?
What?
I got the hairdressing apprenticeship.
She is more interested in her new apprenticeship than any boyfriend.
So, does that mean I get free cakes from now on?
We'll see.
She was thinking about hairdressing, partying, family, all those things that are important to a 15-year-old teenager, not the last girlfriend.
So they all went to the movies last night with my friends and no one even invited me. Did Janet go? Oh, yeah, Janet
But
went.
Kelly's only interested in Jessica,
It wasn't even enough for her to take my boyfriend.
the girl who stands in the way of her deepest desire, Mike.
Hey, there they are.
She was determined to get him back, and she got it fixed in her mind that if she got Jessica out of the picture, then he would be hers.
That stupid bitch. I'll kill her.
It's unfortunate that none of Kelly's friends took her seriously when she said she wanted to kill Jessica. Sadly, no one did anything about it.
She's a child. You're a child and you're a slut. Come here. Your shorts are a little bit short, sweetie. Slut.
Teenage breakups are painful and common.
You have slut written on your head. Don't ignore me.
Eventually, most people move on.
I came here to talk to you.
But in Perth, Western Australia, in September 1998, it won't end that way.
It's just a normal spring day in Perth. Nobody except whatever was going on in the mind of Kelly Fuller had any idea that it was going to be a different day to the day before.
Kelly Fuller has lost her boyfriend and blames 15-year-old Jessica Lang.
Hi. Do you have a minute? No, I don't have a minute for you. Oh, because I really just wanted to talk.
white gloves. Now, this was a hot, steamy, stormy afternoon. You wouldn't wear a long-sleeve shirt, let alone a pair of gloves.
Jessica is home alone, but has no fear of Kelly until it is too late.
Is that a hickey?
Yeah. Kelly was in a great deal of pain, emotional and psychic pain.
That's disgusting. I would never let him do that to me.
Yeah? Well, he never loved you anyway.
She was destroying the source of the pain. Or so she thought.
What are you doing? Oh my God! What are you doing?
She had been stabbed so many times that her jugular vein was shredded to ribbons. There was just blood everywhere.
This speaks to the rage and blind, out of control, anger, I will destroy you thoughts that were going on in Kelly's head.
Do you want to tell?
If you were to just stop for a moment and imagine what it would be like to physically stab someone 47 times. That is an extraordinary act. Jessica was 15. She was still a child.
Kelly goes home, cleans up, and returns to the scene.
She tried to cover her tracks. She broke a back window to make it look like a burglary gone wrong.
Next, she ditches the murder weapon, but makes the mistake of including a friend.
What are you doing with that?
Getting rid of it.
Getting rid of it?
Yeah. I'm gonna go and put it down the drain.
But why?
When teenagers commit murder, they usually get caught rather quickly.
Jess!
It's because they lack the sophistication and experience with life and knowledge to get away with as serious a crime as murder.
When Jessica's father discovers the bloody scene, it doesn't take long for Kelly's friend to put 2 and 2 together.
I know who killed Jessica Lang. It was Kelly Fuller.
One of Kelly's friends rang the police and said, I know who's done this because I helped her dispose of the knife.
She rolled it up in a tea towel and threw it down the drain.
Do you know where this drain is?
Yes, I can show you.
It was pretty quickly after that that they took her into custody.
In February 2000, Kelly Fuller is convicted of murder and sentenced to life with a minimum of 11 years.
11 years is all Kelly Fuller has to pay for taking the life of a young 15-year-old with her whole life in front of her. She wasn't a friend, she wasn't an enemy, she was just a young woman who had something Kelly thought she wanted.
What Kelly did at a very, very early point in her life does not bode well for her future. Kelly's right where she needs to be. She needs to be in prison so that society can be safe from her. Sad, but true.
These teenagers' emotions drove them to murder. Bernadette Prody's jealousy was deadly for her rival. Envy led Karen Severson and Laura Doyle to torture their closest friend. And Kelly Fuller's obsession cost an innocent young girl her life. These killers weren't deadly women. They were deadly delinquents. A mother's role is to love, protect, and nurture. But some moms don't know how. A Missouri woman uses her children for money and freedom.
She was just cold. I mean, Ellen was just cold towards the kids.
A Texas mom's devotion becomes delusional.
It was just one of the most horrific scenes he'd ever seen.
And a young Australian makes a water sacrifice.
It was our first generation why murder, why not?
These deadly women target the most trusting and vulnerable. They are evil guardians. '86, St. Louis, Missouri. 26-year-old Ellen Boehm is tired of the constraints of family life. A young bride to a much older Vietnam veteran. Within 5 years of marrying, Ellen is the mother of 2, with a 3rd baby on the way.
The kids need you here.
You go out. It's my turn.
But to the wrestling?
I don't know if Ellen really wanted to be a mom that quick, but she was. So as like most new moms, she was learning on the fly.
That's Deanne. I'm off.
Ellen's not a typical stay-at-home mom. She's a die-hard wrestling fan. A passion shared with friend Deanne Bond. She remembers those first nights at the wrestling ring where they meet.
Ellen sat behind my husband and I at the professional wrestling matches in St. Louis, so I got acquainted with her that way, and we both enjoyed professional wrestling.
The 2 women have another thing in common: marriage troubles.
I went through my divorce, and we got to talking, and then her marriage was in trouble.
8 months pregnant with her 3rd child, husband Paul drops a bombshell.
Oh, this baby's taking forever.
I'm gonna be at the hospital before you.
What are you talking about?
He told her that when he was in Vietnam, he was exposed to Agent Orange. And the only way he could be cured was he was going to have to go to Texas for treatment.
Doctor says I need urgent tests.
But it is all a lie. Paul is not sick. He is leaving Ellen for another woman.
Very few men leave a wife who's pregnant. But that's what Ellen's husband did.
July 25th, 1986. Ellen gives birth to baby David, alone.
Ellen was not a demonstrative person. I couldn't say she was real loving, but she was good with the kids. Even when things were tough, I mean, as tough as they could get.
And times are tough. Abandoned by her husband, Ellen is left with mounting bills, despite working in an office during the day and delivering pizzas at night.
It always dumped on Ellen. She would get calls from these collected agencies demanding their money, and she's trying to do the best she can with what she makes.
Hello? Yes, I know. Look, I just need a little more time.
Raising 3 children and drowning in debt doesn't stop Ellen from indulging in her favorite pastime: wrestling.
This weekend is gonna be the best.
You're spending all your money on these matches.
Don't worry, Mom. I am planning for one of them to marry me.
It was strange that she was spending the money on wrestling trips when she might need it for everyday life. But at the same time, I could see how much joy and how much fun she was having. It was carefree for her. She didn't have 3 little ones that were tugging at her.
She figured she deserved a little time off to do something for herself. That was her hobby, wrestling.
In 1988, Ellen is forced to file for bankruptcy.
There was no humanly way possible she could keep up and take care of a new family.
Debt and financial hardship are among the most profound stressors in life.
Mommy, where's dinner? I'm hungry.
So is raising 3 children. Ellen had both.
Soon, Ellen's hobby becomes an obsession. Wrestling is more important than friends and family.
Things deteriorated. Wrestling became just so much of her world. It was an escape from reality. It wasn't healthy.
Rather than walk away from her excessive involvement in expensive weekends away watching wrestlers, Ellen chose to indulge her compulsion.
Ellen wants some me time, and she soon finds a way to get it. 1988, St. Louis, Missouri. 28-year-old single mother of 3, Ellen Boehm, is bankrupt.
Look, I just need a little more time.
She was up to her neck in debt and trying to figure her way out of it.
Since her divorce, Ellen's children are more of a burden than a joy.
She was just so overwhelmed, and she's still trying to take care of 3 kids.
Ellen doesn't have the patience to deal with her youngest son, 2-year-old David.
They're all fussy. But moms get over it. Ellen just didn't want to deal with it.
Thanksgiving, November 24th, 1988. Ellen settles her 2 older children in bed. But little David is allowed to stay up.
I can only guess what was going through Ellen's head at that time.
She gets a big cushion off of her couch. Lays it across his chest. And he couldn't breathe.
He had to know that was their mother.
Ellen took little David's life literally in her own hands and snuffed it out.
When Ellen thinks David is dead, she calls for help and says she found him unconscious.
They transferred David to Children's Hospital. And when they eventually he winds up on life support.
The doctor came in and he told us that there was nothing they could do.
There's no brain activity. There's nothing more we can do.
Doctors seek Ellen's permission to take David off life support.
What would you do? Would you pull a plug?
Oh, God, I can't.
Her friend Deanne is shocked by Ellen's response.
And she turned to the doctor and she said,
Pull it.
I froze for just a minute. It was just as though she had said, I want a Coke.
She never did shed any tears.
Ellen receives a life insurance payout of $5,000.
That was the first taste of any extra money.
Only 8 months after David's death, Ellen goes shopping.
Yes, hello. Do you do life insurance policies for children?
Turned out there was like a total like $94,000 worth of life insurance taken out.
Okay, so that means a payout of how much if she dies?
September 13th, 1989. Ellen's 8-year-old daughter is enjoying a relaxing bedtime bath.
She got into the bathtub and she had her Barbie dolls with her and she was playing.
She felt this funny feeling, and then she tried to get up, and she couldn't, and she screamed, and apparently she was able to throw it out of the tub.
She did take Jenny to the hospital because she was bleeding a little from the mouth.
You assume it's an accident. Things happen with children, unfortunately.
Ellen's daughter survives, and everyone accepts it as an unfortunate accident. Until just 12 days later, Ellen falls into an all-too-familiar routine.
Stevie was watching TV, kind of drifting off. She took the pillow from under his head. And held it over his face until he had turned white.
Stephen's passing creates a sense of unease among Ellen's friends. They can't understand her reaction.
There was just no emotion whatsoever. It was just like another day.
For longtime friend Deanne Bond, A third tragedy in the Bohm family is too much. She calls the police.
That time, I just couldn't let this go.
Suspecting foul play, police conduct a thorough investigation. The years of deceit take their toll on Ellen. Realizing police are closing in on 2 murders and 1 attempted murder, she confesses to everything.
She broke down and admitted that she had done it. She explained how she did it. She never did say why she did it.
Ellen could not have the life she wanted with children, or so she thought. So she chose murder.
The thing that gets to me the most is a little girl now knows that her mother killed her 2 brothers. And 2 little boys never got a chance to grow up. That's the hardest part.
In 1993, Ellen pleads guilty to 1 count of first-degree murder and 1 count of second-degree murder. She receives 2 life sentences with no possibility of parole.
I have always felt that taste of not having to pinch every penny when she got that insurance money for David is what set this whole thing in motion.
Ellen killed her children for money. It was all about the payday.
Nobody really knows what someone is thinking.
There was no reality for her anymore.
Or feeling.
She had something worse than postpartum depression.
Be gone, Jezebel!
And sometimes you don't want to.
She thought their daughter should be with Jesus. Wasn't anybody listening?
...2000, Fort Worth, Texas. 32-year-old Dina Schlosser has an enviable life. Husband John, an online computer specialist, makes a 6-figure income and provides a good life for Dina and their young family.
John was making $100,000 a year. They lived in a 3,000 square foot home in an upscale community of Fort Worth.
John's healthy income allows Dina to be a stay-at-home mom to their daughters, aged 5 and 2, a role she relishes.
She was a wonderful mother, and she was more than willing to give up working to stay at home and take care of her children.
The family's life takes a turn for the worse in 2001, when the dot-com bubble bursts. John loses his computer job and his lucrative salary.
He finds some software consultancy work. He takes unemployment for a while when things dry up after that.
The house was foreclosed upon.
The family downsizes to a modest apartment in the nearby town of Plano. They seek solace in their new community, particularly the church.
They were needing something spiritually, emotionally, so they found something there that really appealed to them.
There are women in this church consumed by her evil spirit. We must repent and pray. Praise the Lord.
The church's pastor seems to have all the answers.
He just amazed everybody. He had a real command of the Bible.
Now, the Jezebel spirit, it's a spirit of witchcraft.
And beyond that, he had tremendous charisma.
praise the Lord. Ask for forgiveness. You know who you are.
But not everyone is convinced he is spreading the good word.
It just looks like a small, quaint church. Inside, though, it's not small or quaint. It is a church that a lot of former members say was a cult.
John and Dina are soon devotees,
You must repent.
attending church daily to hear the sermons.
Praise the Lord.
It got so bad that the Schlosser children would not eat meals. They would skip their dinner because they were at church that much.
They became incredibly and obsessively devoted to their church.
They need to pray to God for forgiveness.
When Dina's mom comes to visit, she is concerned by the change in her daughter.
Time to get up. But she's sick. We have to go to church.
Dina started acting strangely.
When one of the little girls had a cough,
This will help.
the grandmother brought over cough syrup, but Dina wouldn't give it to her. She said medicines are evil. Prayer was the answer for everything.
Dina's dependency on the church will cause more than a family rift. But few see it coming.
No one knew anything was wrong until after the third child was born.
Plano, Texas. Dina Schlosser's ideal world collapses when the dot-com bubble bursts in 2001, and her husband, John, loses his job. The couple find comfort and guidance in a new church.
Now, we are all sinners. You need to pray for forgiveness.
They were struggling to survive once John lost his high-paying job, but they aggravated all that by going to church 5, 6, 7 times a week.
In 2003, Dina is blessed. She gives birth to her third child, a baby girl, Maggie. In keeping with their religious beliefs, they don't seek medical assistance.
The midwife advised the couple to go to the hospital, but they refused. Medicine is evil, science is evil.
A difficult labor bears a healthy baby, but a sick mother. Something triggers a psychosis.
Dina became severely mentally ill. In some people, this rare condition happens. We see it now and then after a woman has a baby.
Dina believes all the help she needs is in the Bible.
She was reading the Bible and the word cut jumped up from the page. And she went and got a knife and cut her wrist. Her husband came home and found her holding the baby, bleeding.
Dina's delusions continue. Day by day, they become more terrifying.
Dina thinks the television is laughing at her. She runs out of the house petrified and leaves her children behind.
She was eventually found in an intersection holding her hands up to the heavens.
The officer approaches. As he tries to get close, she just screams. It was the loudest scream he'd ever heard in his life.
Whoa, no, it's all right. We need some help.
Admitted into a mental health facility, Dina is diagnosed with a severe form of postpartum psychosis.
She had no touch with reality. She thought God was talking to her. She was delusional and hearing voices.
Doctors want her to stay in the hospital, but Dina insists on going home.
She doesn't stay there long. Matter of hours.
Psychotic mothers should not be raising children.
Health officials agree to Dina's release, but schedule visits from welfare officers.
Child Protective Services was in her home every single day for months.
Under the proper care, Dina improves.
Dina was doing so much better. She was returning to her normal self.
Oh, Maggie. You love your sisters, don't you?
She wasn't hallucinating.
And they love you.
But Dina stops taking her medication, and by May 2004, she spins out of control with spiritual delusions.
This is known as religious ideation, ideas about religion and God. And someone psychotic who thinks God is talking to them can be very dangerous.
Praise the Lord. Amen. Amen.
As the months pass, Dina's behavior is even more bizarre.
After church, Dina told John that she wanted to give the baby to God.
Let's go home.
John told her that she was confused. They apparently went home and then tried to pray about it that night.
The next morning, November 22nd, 2004, John is at work, the older children in school. Dina is alone with baby Maggie.
But she was convinced that God wanted Maggie.
She walked into the kitchen. She went to the knife set and pulled out the largest one that had a 9-inch blade. And she went up to her crib, believing it was time for Maggie to go back to God. She grabbed the knife and stabbed it in little Maggie's shoulder and started cutting.
There were over 50 puncture marks, which indicated that that mother used at least 50 thrusts of the knife, sawing motions to attempt to sever the arm. This would have been a horrible, terrorizing, agonizing death for this infant.
A psychotic woman killing her child to send them to heaven is on a dedicated mission, and nothing is going to stop them.
Having given her daughter as an offering to God, Dina turns the knife on herself.
She cut through her muscle. She said she intended to cut off both of her arms, but she couldn't go on. The pain was too great.
Dina then calls her husband.
Dina, everything okay?
I've heard Maggie. I've cut her arms off.
With news that he can't comprehend.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
John was in disbelief.
After a series of panicked phone calls, police arrive at the Schlossers' home. Hell on earth.
Dina stood with the knife she used to kill her daughter in her hand. She was covered with blood.
Praise God. Thank you, God. Praise God.
He walked to the bedroom where he saw blood everywhere and a completely silent baby. Just one of the most horrific scenes he'd ever seen.
A scene that will never be forgotten.
Dina never should have been allowed to care for her young daughter from the first moment she said her daughter belonged in heaven.
Dina Schlosser pleads guilty to murder, but is found not guilty by reason of insanity.
She thought what she did was in service of God, so why would she lie about it?
In 2006, Dina is placed in a mental institution. 6 years later, she is released on an outpatient status on the condition that she never contacts her 2 surviving daughters.
Dina Schlosser breaks my heart. The only thing that is worse than the horrible death her daughter suffered is how it all didn't have to happen. The disintegration of Dina Schlosser was horrific. She was not given the proper care.
Dina wielded the knife that killed her daughter, but it wasn't with malice. She was psychotic. She was out of her mind.
There was a good, kind person inside, somewhere.
Becoming a new mom doesn't always mean you're ready.
She wanted to go to the pubs with her mates. That's what she wanted.
Some mothers never grow up.
Gemma was very immature.
Oh my God, when?
2008, Perth, Australia.
I got shot. Stop it. Let's do it.
19-year-old Gemma Killeen is out for the night.
She's a very friendly girl, very outgoing, someone to party with.
Like most girls her age, Gemma is looking for a good time. She finds it in 20-year-old, New Zealand-born Eddie Watiri.
You've got a little band. Oh, he's gorgeous.
It's a whirlwind romance. And the young couple soon moves in together. For Gemma, Eddie is all she needs.
By all accounts, Gemma wanted to be with Eddie full-time.
But a third person soon enters their relationship.
You want a beer?
I'm pregnant.
An unexpected pregnancy.
I'm gonna be a dad. You're gonna be a mom.
In late 2008, Eddie and Gemma are the proud parents of a baby boy,
Mom, let him do
Caden.
It's all right.
He was a bubbly young fella. Never presented too many problems for them.
Gemma's mom is there to help her daughter and give her sound advice.
She could still have a life, but she had to put part of that aside to take care of her son.
What is going on?
But Gemma soon finds being a mom is no party.
Oh, you've done another one? This changed you 15 minutes ago.
She wanted to be outgoing. She wanted to be out, not at home. She wanted to be with her friends, not with her son.
Most young parents are stressed. Raising a baby is not easy.
Nothing exciting.
But balancing home life, social life, and childcare
Oh my God, when?
gets worked out.
Are there still tickets?
Not for Gemma.
To add to her woes, Gemma is no longer Eddie's #1 priority. Caden is.
I'm going out with the girls.
The relationship itself was quite volatile.
Are you serious? What about Caden?
Don't wait up.
She was upset that she wasn't getting 100% of Eddie's attention.
What Gemma wanted now.
Gemma's demanding ways are too much for Eddie. They split up. Gemma and baby Caden move in with her mother. But Eddie is still an involved father and now considers Gemma a friend with benefits.
Gemma and Eddie had an on and off relationship.
Eddie is happy with a casual relationship, but Gemma wants more.
Can we learn like this forever?
She wanted to renew the relationship, but her former partner didn't.
Gemma wanted things between her and Eddie back to the way that it was before Caden was born.
The couple's priorities are worlds apart.
It's my night to go out.
On November 25th, 2010, Gemma is once again going out on the town.
All I do is look after that stupid kid. I never get to have any fun anymore.
She was clearly immature and she was selfish.
I'm over this. Do you hear me?
She was still trying to live out some of her teenage years.
Gemma had a very unrealistic fantasy of parenthood, but it was full of responsibilities that she just did not want to deal with.
The next morning, the atmosphere is frosty. Eddie has had enough of Gemma's party lifestyle.
I'm sorry I was late last night. Give me a kiss.
She'd arrived home back at Eddie's house at 2 o'clock in the morning. This infuriated Eddie, that she was perhaps not living up to her responsibility as a parent.
In the wake of her argument with lost love Eddie, Gemma seeks retail therapy.
During that time, she sent several SMS messages to Eddie, which were not responded to by him.
Eddie is not answering.
It's clear she became increasingly more and more agitated by his non-interest in her messages.
Answer me, you bastard.
But Gemma won't accept the silent treatment. By the end of the day, Eddie will answer her calls. Perth, Australia. Gemma Killeen isn't enjoying her life as a young mom. The 22-year-old is bored caring for her son, 2-year-old Caden, and wants her on-again, off-again relationship with Caden's father, Eddie Watiri, more permanent.
She kept on going out. She kept on trying to get back with Eddie.
On November 25th, 2010, Gemma's life gets a lot worse. An innocent trip to a beachside shopping mall ends in high drama.
It was about 5:45 in the evening when she raised the alarm.
Mum, someone's taking Caden. I don't know where he is.
She was putting some other items into the boot of the car. He was in the pram and somehow he's got out.
Eddie rushes to where Gemma always wants him, by her side.
We were playing in the swings over there, and then I went to the toilet block to get some water, and I came back and he was gone.
Why did you leave him alone?
Doesn't matter. Go to the swing. Go to the swing.
Police launch a full-scale search.
They started at the shopping centre with the aid of the shopping centre security.
With every passing minute, police concerns grow.
The first concern was that he'd been abducted.
Less than an hour after Caden goes missing, he is found. But there's no happy family reunion. The little boy's body is discovered in the harbor, some 2 miles away from the search area.
A couple on a walk came across Caden's body in the water. They pulled Caden from the water and started CPR. Unfortunately, Caden had been in there for too long and he was already dead.
The discovery of Caden's body raises more questions than answers.
How did he get there? She's a couple of miles away and he's ended up there. How did that happen in the space of time that we're talking about?
It is a mystery to the grieving mother, too.
She didn't give any idea of who had taken him or how he had disappeared.
The police discover the answer right in front of them. Security cameras are rolling on the waterfront.
The CCTV shows us the last moments of Caden's life.
It captures a car parking near the water.
You can see a person get out of the car. That person wanders around and stands at the driver's door. You can just see 2 little legs from behind.
She climbed over the rocks. That proves she wanted him dead. That proves she wanted him not to be found. She hid him away from where anyone was likely to find him.
Left at the water's edge, the toddler is soon washed away by the rising swell.
Caden's final moments must have been terrifying.
We know that her son's gone in the water and is drowning as she's watching.
By sending the search party in the wrong direction, Gemma makes certain Caden can't be revived.
Because she wanted to make sure he died. She wanted to be rid of him.
I would describe Gemma as being one of the most cold-hearted murderers that I've ever dealt with.
When Gemma realizes her every move is caught on camera, she gives up.
Gemma pleaded guilty to the charge of murder. However, she said that she didn't have the intention to kill him.
I don't believe that for a minute. Why else would she put a defenseless baby on a beach?
In May 2012, Gemma Killeen is convicted of murder. She's sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 13 years.
There was no consideration for her son, her former partner, her mother, Eddie's family. There was no consideration other than, I'm free of this now.
The best solution she could come up with was murder.
Gemma is eligible for parole in 2023. She will be 35 years old, young enough to be a mom.
I think the comment was made that it was our first generation why murder, why not?
This is the saddest story.
These deadly women lack the basic instinct of a mother's love. Ellen Boehm killed her children for insurance payouts. Dina Schlosser's delusions led to the darkest of murders. And Gemma Killeen preferred partying to being a parent. They couldn't be trusted with their own flesh and blood. They were evil guardians.